Welcome into Patered Sports, part of the Six Pack Coverage Network. Here with you is me, Will Dundon, and Seth Coggin. Trucial couldn't be with us today. But guys, we got a lot to talk about this show. A lot of baseball going on. Me and Seth got the quad screens going with the squeeze play, all elimination games. So we might give you a few updates. Not that y'all will care because this will come out tomorrow. But first off, I want to talk about our very own Seth Coggin has a big announcement that he made on Sunday, actually.
That's right.
Y'all may know him as the Blade Dog. There's a reason for that.
Known by many names, but one purpose stays the same, bro.
That's right. Seth, I'm going to let you kind of take it from here and tell all the listeners what you're doing. You actually mentioned it, I guess, a couple weeks ago when we were talking about you running your
those who really were paying
attention,
step, they knew what was up. Everyone, if you were really dialed in, you knew what was coming next. It had to be next. I have kind of prided myself on doing some very fun endurance events and kind of training myself to prepare and compete in such long endurance efforts. And I happen to be hold on, I got a plane flying just right above my head. I happen to be somehow I found a gift. I found a gift in rollerblading. I don't know what it is about my body that relates to the movement. The sport just gravitated towards me. No one's really doing it. It's a fun way to both. So what I'm doing is, there's not a ton of rollerblading records out there. But one that there is that's pretty well known is the 24-hour distance record. So 24 hours, just go as far as you can. I like the simplicity of that. It is an extreme endurance event. It's 24 hours, just pretty much full send 24 hours. But it's also in a sport that I feel capable of kind of displaying a great effort once we get to training dialed in. So to try and break that record, it's pretty much going to be a lot of training, kind of keeping that endurance training through, whether it's biking or running or doing some other stuff or rollerblading. There will be some just long extended efforts. But yeah, we're going to make it a big event. We're actually hoping to get a racetrack. This is kind of plan A. There's a couple of plans out there. Maybe go 300 something miles on the road. So that would be one, finding a really good
so real quick,
segment.
what is the distance you're trying to beat again?
All right, so it's 337 miles. So 337 miles in 24 hours. So got to keep a pretty good pace over an extended period of time. We got to pick somewhere super flat. Like we got to pick somewhere super flat. We got to get really good weather, really good conditions, road conditions, and it's got to be good. Rollerblades are only so durable. Kind of, you got to have a good pavement. Actually, is a huge factor. Stuff like that. So we're thinking maybe getting a racetrack and just kind of doing the Blade Dog 300, something like that. Where I'm truly just ripping just a crazy amount of laps on a racetrack, something like that. But we'll make it fun. It really is. I haven't really decided to. It's not really for a monetary gain or nothing like that. Like it's really just it's a pursuit for enjoyment. Like, so a lot of us can have some laughs and enjoy actually trying this kind of insane, like Guinness Book of World Record, like kind of insane task that's quasi doable. Like not many people have attempted it. We're gonna truly test kind of my body and just see how far we can go. So it's really just an enjoyable thing to do with some friends. Maybe prove. So I got some athleticness in the body to kind of get out and shake out. So got to do that every once in a while. Just show off a little bit. Come on, that's what rollerblading is—a little bit of peacocking. But the Blade Dog's a fun character. I get to play like when I'm on rollerblades. It's quite literal, I'm. When you strap on the rollerblades, bro, it's like next level. Like you're the Blade Dog. You are unstoppable. Like, you never know how far I might go. I might go 400, 500 miles in a day. I don't know. Till we try. We're gonna go 24 hours hard as we can and see what we got.
Dude, that's amazing. So what is that? Have you mapped it out at all? Kind of what you want your pace to be set at, or anything yet? Or
yeah. So let's see here. Let me do some quick. So 337 miles divided by 24 hours. So I got to be above like a 14 miles an hour on the blades for 24 hours. So really my pace would be probably try to keep a pace of like 18, honestly. If I could do 18 miles an hour, because then that allows for some rest time. Like I will need some time not going, either sitting and just refueling. And a lot of that can be done on the, while I am going. That's the cool part about the rollerblades is I can slow down to a pace where it's casual enough to drink, eat, do whatever I need to do while I'm still kind of moving forward. So just finding a way where that momentum can keep going and is the real kind of where you can keep that pace up. You can't climb a bunch of hills and keep that high pace, especially on rollerblades. It's a lot harder to climb hills on rollerblades. So you got to be somewhere super dialed where, yeah, you can keep that higher pace. I mean, 18 miles an hour would be tough.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is like a normal speed, I guess, when you're rollerblading, especially on a flat surface?
When I did the only thing I can really testament to it is like, I don't know, when I ended up doing, so I did that 100 miles at one time and my pace ended up being only like 9 miles an hour or something like over the course of the day. Because I'd stopped for a long time and I had a ton of hills and I had some falls. Like that was the hard part, is the speed regulation. Like if you're trying to create speed, but then you're also, I was on greenways and sidewalks and stuff that day too. So I was like up and down on different terrain, all kinds of stuff. So it kind of knocks your speed way down. That's what we're hoping. I mean, we haven't I'm saying I'm going to do this, but I haven't attempted anything truly like close to this effort or this distance. Like this will be a one-time, like all in event. Like we're training for one attempt and hopefully it goes, really well. And if also not being afraid to like, you know what? Okay, it's a very fun exercise and like, hey, we're trying to break a world record. Like we're trying to break a world record distance. If I don't, like, if I go 200 miles on an afternoon, like in a day, that's like it's still kind of a crazy, like not many people have done that, so it's kind of funny. That's makes it a little more fun, and it's a really fun way for a lot of my friends to just kind of enjoy getting excited for something that we create on our own. Like this is no one else's event. Like it's not on the backs of anything else. It's quite literally like we're doing something just fun that we can enjoy. So,
do you have a date set?
To be this fall. We got a lockdown location. And so our dates, our date on our end is very flexible. So we're going to be trying to get the perfect weather and in the right location. There's several locations kind of considering. Really, our distance is obviously number one factor. And then terrain would include two things, like up and down, like your elevation gain, and also your actual pavement type is a big thing too. Because we were thinking about like Kansas, super flat, might have a good stretch that we could either run laps on or just go flat for 300 something miles, which would be cool to start in point A, end 300 something miles down the road at point B would be pretty amazing. But the kind of pavement that they use most of the roads is not quite as good as some other stuff we might find. So that's what kind of brought into the thing a possibility of a speedway. Then we make it truly like like how funny is that, dude? This one dude on rollerblades is going for 24 hours on this racetrack. And so there's things considering that. But we'll figure out the details real soon. First, we got to let the people know, we got to let the people know what's coming up. And then we'll iron out the details and get them out there. It allows for more reveals later on. We can't drop the whole thing. Like, we got to get the idea out in your heads, build a little anticipation, then drop some dates on some people's heads, and then execute. At the end of all this, dropping something like that is kind of big. You got to come through on that kind of promise. Like, I'm putting it out there, so we'll get it done.
Dude, I'm gonna have to let the boss at Six Pack, Andrew, know about it too. I'm gonna
bring it. Hey, no, that's kind of the thing we want.
Well, you'll get some pub.
Yeah, this is a true it's an exercise in just pushing the limits of the human body, and people are kind of curious about that kind of, and it's just it's crazy enough but fun enough to kind of be exciting, and it's, yeah, why not bring them all on board? There's always someone that will be like, yeah, that's it's kind of crazy. Like, I want to see at least what happens.
Well, that's what I think you could get. Yeah, I mean, I think if you needed to find somewhere to do it, there's probably people who would, if you said, hey, I'm trying to break a world record, they'd probably say, oh yeah, come do it. Because it's publicity for them.
I'm looking A1, like, what's the National Super Speedway doing on like 362 days a year? Like, they got a couple races, I get that, but there's quite a few days that track's sitting empty that we could run some hot laps on, man. I only need 24 hours. Like, my crew will be in and out. I will pull up. We will unload, go for 24 hours, be gone. You will never like. We'll keep it locked and loaded.
Do you think that could be? I feel like a speedway would be kind of rough because isn't it kind of slanted?
Yeah, but that might be good. You're just kind of banking the whole time.
That's true.
But that's what we're talking about. That could put an extended pressure on your hip or something like that if you're always banking. But it wouldn't have to be like a race car. Like I could switch.
You could go the other way.
Direction.
Yeah.
It's just about distance. So I mean, I could do it. Anyway, there are a lot of things to consider. Maybe a road track where it's like maybe some testing facility road track where it's a couple laps and it's flat and it's just kind of curved. But we'll see. That's what. Hey, there are things to figure out, but that's why I got a good team behind me. Shout out Kickback Racing. It's our kind of racing team up here. We typically kind of focus more on the bikes, especially like Rob. He's kind of guy who started everything. He's a big biker, so we do a lot more racing on the bikes. But we're kind of branching out into all types of racing, and we like to be event focused as well. So like, not only do we have a race, it'll be also a party. So we kind of got that locked down. I got a great team. They're going to figure things out. And I'm just going to be ready to blade. Like I just got to get my body in condition to do that kind of effort, which is quite a bit. I'm pretty cold right now. Like I've taken about a month off since the long ultra marathon just to kind of rest and get the legs back under me. But I'm feeling a lot better now. So we'll be back to training like A1, like hardcore, which that's when it's fun. That's kind of why you announce these kind of things, so you can go hard training. And
yeah, you put it out there, and it's like, okay, there's no going back now. I told everyone about it.
No going back. Yeah. So that'll be upcoming, but that's what's up. That's what's up.
Nice, man. Dude, that's what I feel that too, because I've been telling people about how you and Boss Man ran that ultra, and I was like, no, man, like I want to do that now. And I've told enough people now, I'm like, dude, I got to actually back it up. Like, I didn't say I was going to do it next year or anything, but I was like, look, I'm going to do it sometime. So
yeah. That's fun to start to see. That's what makes us do things, is putting it out there and kind of being like, yeah, this is actually something I would like to do. Like there we go. Hogs got out of the inning, no runs. Good signs, man. Good signs.
Well, let's move it in here. We'll go ahead. That's awesome. Yeah. We'll be sure to keep the listeners posted on all that. We'll have to. I'm going to come down for that. Whatever.
Yeah, I'll probably let Pay Dirt Sports maybe be like the exclusive rights holder to some of that coverage. Like,
yeah, we'll throw it all out there. That'll be sick. But let's move into. We're going to talk a little college baseball, of course, but let's kick it off real quick with the NBA Finals. I don't really have. You may have a lot more to say about the actual basketball going on, but yeah, so the Warriors tied it up. I guess it's 1-1, correct? Really more that I have been paying attention to is the fact that you got Draymond Green out there lead blocking for guys, just daring the refs to call fouls on them.
Continually being Draymond Green. Like he can't stop being Draymond.
Yeah.
He's always been this way. He's been on a great team or surrounded by great players who endorse him. So it gives him like, a solid reputation. It like makes him respected, but he is a pest. Like that is quite literally what he does. And he does a great job of being the heel, but he is annoying and dirty and just like does unbasketball plays. Like, yeah, he's like tackling people out there on the court. Like, unnecessary.
He literally was lead blocking for Seth. Like there was some guys standing at the 3-point line, and it was kind of funny because I watched it and I was like, yeah, that looks like that's not allowed. But at the same time, I don't know what I would do if I was the ref in that situation. He's just kind of running into guys to open up the lane for Steph to take a wide open three, and it worked out.
Yeah, he knows he does have like extra privilege because he is Draymond on the Warriors. Like he is a figurehead of kind of that franchise. So he gets leverage on some of those calls. So he is almost like taunting the refs, like to call stuff on him. He's like, no, I'm gonna push the envelope so far. You like have to call something on me. Oh, it's obnoxious, bro. The Warriors are good. This series probably will be the whole playoffs to me, outside of kind of when I had serious interest in the Grizzlies run. And I feel like a lot of their games were actually close, but even the series that goes 6 and 7 games just have blowout after blowout. Like it's not that exciting basketball right now. And you don't have true super, like it's hard to say that because Steph is a superstar, but I don't like without LeBron. But I'm so biased towards LeBron. Like without
Yeah.
LeBron, I don't care as much about the
Well,
finals.
but I
Like
think there's a lot
straight
of
up.
people in that same boat that if you're not a basketball fan, you were at least you followed LeBron because he's so polarizing and
Yeah.
he's, what have you. I think there's a lot of people in the same boat because I feel the same way. And I don't claim to be a huge NBA fan, but that's kind of going along with the casual sports fan.
Yeah.
You have the Warriors, but it's not even really the villain Warriors that it was a couple years ago when
Yeah.
KD came. So you do just have kind of diehard basketball fans really being interested in these finals.
Yeah. And back to the casual fan thing, like as I would consider myself to the NBA, even though I watch a lot, I would still call myself pretty casual. Because it's behind several other things that I'm more kind of invested in. But even these games themselves, maybe it's just because our memory kind of tricks us because we remember like the exciting stuff, but it just feels like all the finals games used to be like down to the fourth quarter at least, like down to whether it be any series I can think of, if even like game 2, game 3 were close games that like were tipped kind of at the end of the game is where something tipped. But these games are 20-point games in the third quarter. And it's like, well, I mean, it's set for, and I know they went 1-1, but the total point differential is 40 points. Like in 2 games, there's been like 2 20-point wins, and it's just not quite as exciting. Yeah, I will watch like if it went to game 7, I'll watch that. That is exciting. But they all used to feel just a little more intense. Like you got down by 12, you don't let the team go on an 8-0 run to get up 20. You instead claw back to get to 6 to, have a chance there at the end. But that's kind of, I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of a little prejudiced because
Yeah,
LeBron's
but
not in
I
it.
don't think you're wrong.
But that's just as a fan of because sport is what it is to me. Like I value the chaos in the finale. Like I value the excitement in the fact that someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. Like this game's gonna end. That kind of stuff. It does. Viewing that when a game's a 20-point game, I'm not. Why would I keep it on? There's other stuff for me to watch. Like I don't have to
That's a
watch
good
this
point.
boring finals game. I'm gonna watch this 8th inning of this 7-7 baseball game in Southern Miss because why not? Like I'm here to watch fun sports. Like this is big time sport. Like it's an important event, but it's not a good sporting game right now. But that's kind of what Boston's been. Their MO this season is just up and down. Like they're almost conserving energy. It's like, nah, we won game 1. We know we're going back to Boston. Like we're gonna kind of throw off in game 2. But that's it's like they're doing that, but they shouldn't.
They can't
If
be
they
doing
are,
that.
that's
Yeah.
insane. And it's just it's just crazy. It's not that exciting to me right now. I watched more but that's it goes back to like if your team is in it, it is exciting. Like I watched more of those Grizzlies games than I've watched in the finals minutes because I did care, and those games were exciting. And you had a person like Ja. I like watching Mavs games because you have a person like Luka that truly do things that's like unbelievable that like people haven't really done on a basketball court. At any moment, Luka could hit a shot that's like just ridiculous.
Well,
Or
and
Ja
not that
could dunk something from the free throw line over a guy's head.
Yeah, and not that they're brand new, but they kind of are the flavor of the month. Whereas you have the star power here now is, I mean, I guess you could say Jason Tatum in that, but really the star power comes with Steph, Clay, and even Draymond. But it's like, I mean, you've been seeing that for the past 10 years, maybe around there.
Steph's not revolutionary anymore. Like Steph is still great. He still does great things, but he's not like, he already evolved the game like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
he's past like, and his game has changed, and he's had to build his team up a little bit more around him too. And so obviously his role has kind of shifted in some ways, but he's not that revolutionary player. Like I've seen Steph hit these crazy shots. Like I've seen Steph do all this before. It's awesome. It's still fun to watch, but it's not like next. You know what I mean? It's not the next. I think that is what we kind of enjoy watching with. It is that kind of next thing that and Steph is kind of. He's still it. Obviously, he's leading a team to the finals. He's still on top right now. But in terms of like his game, it's kind of a pass. Like you see a Jordan Poole kind of being like a quasi Steph Curry. He's literally kind of, there are players molded after that brand of basketball, which is awesome. I mean, it makes the games exciting as all get out. So
Well, I think what hurts him too is, I mean, we keep going back to this, but he doesn't have kind of that villain or hero or that big star to defeat. They're just playing
no,
the Celtics.
yeah,
Like Celtics are a great team, but
yeah. And
that's kind
Jason
of
Tatum to me doesn't have the star. Like he does some star things, and then he'll also disappear completely. And he just doesn't quite have that. Yeah, he's an elite player. He's great, but he doesn't quite have that superstar like thing to me. It is kind of they all maybe that changes, but they used to talk about over analyze the clutch gene or whatever. That's how they named it. I think of it kind of differently. Like clutch kind of means a lot of things. Like clutch means you kind of are always on and ready to perform. Like second quarter of game 2 when your team is down by 10, that's when we need you to get a couple buckets and get us back rolling instead of kind of laying over. So superstars got to be held to that just upmost scale. They got to be critiqued the absolute hardest, and I don't think he holds up to that criticism. He's elite, great player, obviously part of a great team. He's got some help, but he's definitely their leader. But when you can disappear and like kind of shrink down in moments, that's when you get questioned as a superstar. I'm not questioning his any legitimacy as a player, but like he's not a hey,
well,
we'll go right back to the casual fan
the
guy. Like he's not gonna catch me. Like he's a great basketball player, but he's not the reason I turn on a game.
he's also not going to catch the hate that like a true superstar would.
Yeah,
Like people will,
yeah,
I mean, you will know, like if Jason Tatum disappears, someone will talk about it. He didn't perform well, but it's so not the same as if a great player like Steph or LeBron or someone just didn't
yeah,
show up for a game. Like they're going to get
yeah.
trashed and it's all their fault kind of type
Yeah,
thing.
all their fault.
Plus,
That's I think that is the thing. It's the blame thing. Like when all the blame goes on your back, you kind of are the superstar. That's kind of what you have to take to be the to accept that role.
well, and his whole, people have been talking about this a lot on Twitter. His whole Kobe obsession has gotten a little creepy at this point. I'm kind of
Yeah,
over it.
be
Like,
your own
hey,
man at some
respect.
point.
There's
Yeah,
just so many other ways.
learn
you
from
can go
Kobe.
about
Like
that.
shout out Kobe, bro. Like RP Kobe and shout out Kobe. Like Mamba
Yeah.
mentality is crazy. Like learning from him and how he viewed like life and the game and everything is crazy. But bro, like be Jason Tatum. Like you're not Kobe.
Well, and hey, if you want to respect the guy, I have no problem with that. Kobe
Yeah.
is not only probably my favorite basketball player, but one of my favorite just athletes of all time because of it, Mamba mentality, all that. But I mean, dude, wear like a Kobe jersey, like to the stadium and stuff. You don't have to be posting that you texted him or redoing all of his photos that were taken of him like that. Come on, man. Just
Yeah.
it's getting a little weird.
Yeah. Yeah, a little unnecessary for like a true superstar in your own right. See, that's the kind of thing, bro. Like if you're a superstar, like LeBron James, like he might be like pay homage to MJ, like hey, respect MJ, respect Kobe, but he's not doing that kind of stuff about him. Like he's not just
Yeah, and he was boys with
riding
Kobe.
them, bro. Yeah. So
I mean, I know
it's
Tatum's
just kind of
like his
weird behavior
protege,
for a
but
superstar, bro. That's what I'm saying. He's not a superstar. He's elite, great player, not a superstar.
yeah. Well, you mentioned something earlier, talking about, sometimes you gotta when those 20-point NBA Finals games are going on, you gotta flip over to one of these regionals that are going on, and I feel like I've noticed more of a national attention to college baseball this
Yeah.
year, and I don't even mean just. I mean, obviously, I'm following Tennessee and everything.
Yeah, I'll step in there and say that's a huge reason because you've seen it. Tennessee baseball is unreal right now, and so the just kind of the coverage on them is just next level. So, but at the same time, I think you're right. I think more television has helped, like being more accessible to watch the games pretty much all the time anywhere is great. We got good players in college these days. The facilities are so good. College is a great developmental route to go if you're a really high level player that wants to play in the NBA or the MLB, excuse me. If you want to play in the MLB, bro, you're just as good to serve 2 to 3 years in college and really have great facilities, great fan bases and stuff like that. Then, go the minor league route. Minor league is tough. It is tough. You can be a super talented player and get lost in minor league, man. 18 years old, you go right into just traveling around and it's just it's not easy. I think you're probably more set up for success in the weight room nutrition and development going to college. So I think all that has made college baseball better. And so I think college baseball being better gets you more national kind of attention, more of a national audience kind of with you. And then Tennessee being electric and just dominating the national storyline this year definitely brings, especially in front of our eyes, a lot more national coverage on the game. So yeah, and it's getting right to crunch time right there. We mentioned Southern Miss earlier. They just took down LSU in the 9th inning to hold on in Game 7. So they'll be hosting they'll be in a super regional. I don't know who'll be hosting, but by the end of the night, we'll know the supers will be set, and college baseball will be they'll be on to the next round. And the supers is exciting too. And you're one series win away from going to Omaha, so that makes it just that much more on edge. All 3 games are just on the razor edge of a knife. But what you think, Will? What you watched the Vols this weekend? How we looking?
I mean, I I loved watching it because you got to see in the first couple games, Vols did what they do, hit a bunch of home runs, power ball, really looked like they had the right game plan for both teams, I guess. You had a couple come out. They gave them a little trouble, got a few runs scored on them. But I think, this last game against Georgia Tech, I really wanted them to beat Georgia Tech in this first game. I felt like even if Georgia Tech won, Tennessee could come out and maybe, score a ton of runs the next day and end up just trouncing them, because they did have a lot of trouble with that pitcher. I forget his name, but for Georgia Tech, he was throwing a bunch of sinkers, and it was just they just kept getting those double plays and ground outs and everything.
You always want to win when you got a chance. I mean, you always want to go ahead and close the door.
Yeah, go ahead and close the door. But also, it was cool to see them. I mean, they came back. Like, I think there were a lot of Tennessee fans even, Tennessee's not used to having this clutch team that can just, hey, don't worry about it. We're going to win. Like, you can be confident in this team.
Yeah.
Because that top of the 9th inning, I mean, they just came out and scored a ton of runs. And it was great because you got to see them score 9 runs playing small ball without any home runs, just hitting them up the gaps. Like, this team isn't just a home run team. This team's going to get base hits, play good ball, tag up, hit it, like do some sack flies when they need to, have some clutch pitchers come in. Redmond Walsh comes in and ends the game for him. I mean, really, he had to battle too that last, I guess, inning and a half that he pitched, or maybe 2 innings. And umps were questionable, but then in my opinion, gave Tennessee that last pitch that won them the game. It looked pretty high to me, but I wasn't complaining about it, obviously. So Tennessee, I'm excited. Super regionals. Here we go. Notre Dame coming to town.
Oh, Notre Dame. Catholics. Crazy things happen when you get religion involved in sports. So I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
Vols so all we got now, right? They'll just play a 3-game series.
Yeah, 3-game series. And then winner punches their ticket to Omaha. So there'll be 16 teams left in the supers, and every team will be at a host site. See, another thing that makes college baseball so awesome: the regional and super regionals are at a host site. Like, it is in home turf. Now, you can beat someone on their own home field. It happens all the time. Arkansas is trying to do that tonight, in Game 7 on the road in Stillwater. But it is a home field advantage. See, that's what we talk about, like football playoff. Is if we had a home football playoff game, how fun that would be. Not the whole tournament. The whole thing doesn't, just like Omaha goes to a neutral site once you get to 8 teams. But for the first bit, it's home field advantage. That matters. That's what your regular season's for, to earn you that kind of right. So we'll see. Hogs potentially even could still host a super regional. But VCU is down, I think 7-1 is last I saw. So they're probably not going to beat North Carolina.
Looks like 7-3 right now.
7-3. Hey,
bottom
Rams coming back.
There's time.
Ram life. Rams can get it back. But yeah, so Arkansas still tied 0-0 tonight. Runners at the corners for Oklahoma State. Long game ahead of us. But if they win, they'll either be going to North Carolina or they'll be going back to Fayetteville, which would be crazy to not host a regional and then come back and host a super, which would be pretty awesome. So we'll see. If the Hogs can make it through tonight, then it's just this one series to go to Omaha. Like we said, for Tennessee, it's just All right, we got to step in and win 2 out of 3 any way we can. And I mean, I like the Hogs' chances. They won a lot of series this year, so who knows? Why not? I mean, that's the tournament's such different. They were so cold at the beginning of like the end of the season. They had just gone, just zapped dead. They looked tired and just bad. It was pitching was terrible. Hitting was just about as worse. It was not fun to watch. And for a team that had been really solid all year, it was just kind of brutal to watch them limp into the stretch. And so hopefully but they've played kind of bounced back in the regional, got in the winners bracket. And that's kind of a huge thing to get in that winners bracket. So they didn't have to play the extra game. So that's where it'll come back to hit if in game 7. So hopefully they can hold off game 7 tonight. Any way possible, man. You just got to get across that finish line tonight. Win or go home is that's when you get to survive in advance. Not quite like the March Madness where every game is survive in advance. That's what makes baseball kind of fun because some games aren't survive in advance. But then it's still a tournament game, so it is still important. But then you do get to the true do or dies. Like no one's going to the loser bracket after this game. Like it's up. Time's up for the Razorbacks. So I think they're gonna win tonight. I say that like this inning's not looking great for us right here, but it's a 3rd inning, and I think we'll get out of it either way. I think they're gonna win tonight. A lot of people, we had a really bad error last night in the 8th or 9th inning. I think it was the 9th inning. Oh yeah, it was definitely in the 9th inning. Oh, okay. Second out of the inning. Sorry, got distracted. little squirrel ran across.
Well,
anyway,
so will we have super regionals? Will they just start next week?
Yeah, they'll start probably Thursday. Most of them will start Thursday.
All right. And then, so it turns out, I forgot, Truschel is kind of our saving grace because he has the business Zoom because of his work.
That's why he gets unlimited minutes.
Yeah, so we're running down to the final 2 minutes, the 2-minute warning.
Oh, so 2-minute drill.
Yeah,
all right,
so
let's
Seth,
get it
I'm gonna
going.
give you kind of the final. Give me like a good 30 seconds to a minute. Just get whatever you want off your chest. Let's hit it real quick.
All right. Wow, that's a big time question right there. All right. Well, here's what I got to say, man. If the Razorbacks don't win tonight, it's going to be a long build up to football season, but I'm kind of ready to get going. I was in the shower the other day. That's when I think about the Hogs mostly. You know, I'm just deep lathering up, man, getting clean for the day, thinking about the Razorbacks. Anyway, I was thinking, man, I just can't wait till football season. And once kind of college baseball ends and the finals end, then we're in a lull till football season. So college football is up next. Oh, there we go. 3rd out of the inning. All right, Will, you're up.
All right, here we go. So one thing I didn't get to cover on, there was the whole deal with Evan Russell this past weekend. They basically came out with this false report that Evan Russell was taking steroids. That's why he couldn't play in the game. Just absolutely not true. Freaked me out when I went on Twitter to find out. I immediately thought it was true. And then you have a ESPN announcers talking about it live on air during a game. Ends up being totally incorrect.
That's crazy. You can't go with that. You can't run that story and it be false.
I know, it's absolutely nuts. But anyway, so that came out. So it really is Vols versus everyone. They thought they had them. They thought they had the Vols down, but they couldn't get them down. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up super quick. Thanks again for listening. This is Paydirt Sports, part of the Six Pack Coverage Network. Be sure to check them out, sixpackcoverage.com, at Six Pack Coverage. Check us out at Paydirt_sports, at Paydirt Sports on Twitter and Instagram. Check out the website, paydirtsports.blog. Guys, thanks again for listening. We will see y'all next week.
Paydirt out.